Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I'm gonna show you how I got this brown cut crease with a smoked out eyeliner look. She looks so stunning. This is by far the best makeup look I've done on my client, which I personally liked the most. And here we also paired this eye look with a really glossy brown lip. So if you want to see how I got this look, then please keep watching. So I begin by using my Maybelline illuminating primer, and I'm using this flat bristle brush to spread this primer all across his skin. This is gonna help us have a really smooth base for our foundation. I also made her use Vaseline on her lips for moisturizer beforehand. Then I go in with my Dirty Works brow powder in dark brown, and I use that using this really tiny bristle brush to fill in her sparse spots on her brow area. This will help her have a lot more filler look for the brows. And here what I'm doing is using my Wet n Wild foundation in the shade Nude Ivory and Caramel. I'm mixing both the shades up. Caramel is on the warmer tone and Nude Ivory is on the cooler tone. So these colors, if you mash them together in equal contrast according to her skin, this will give you the perfect match. So that's what I'm doing here. Then I just spread it using the same flat bristle brush, by the way, and then I go in over my over the foundation with my damp beauty blender, and I use that to press the foundation into her skin. This will basically make sure it does not have a cakey look and a cakey finish in the end, and it looks as natural as it possibly can, and it looks really flawless in the end. Basically, if you use a damp beauty blender, make sure your beauty blender is wet. Don't use a dry one, because that will it will not look good. It will look super patchy and bad in the end. So I just take my time with the blending process, because it will be the base for our whole makeup. So yeah, just make sure you take your time and blend it in properly. Get all the way to the roots of her hair, so it doesn't look awkward in the pony and stuff. Now I'm using my concealer buffing brush. I'm using my Maybelline concealer, and I'm using that to spread all across her, under her eye region, on her eyelid area as well, slightly. I'm gonna use this, and I'm also gonna take it all the way towards the top of her cheek area. This is gonna help lift her face up. I'm just applying that concealer in a large amount here, because I want this under eye to be as bright as it possibly can. I apply the same concealer on her forehead, her chin, on the bridge of her nose. Then I use the concealer buffing brush that I used in the beginning, and I use that to basically blend the concealer with the foundation. And I'm making sure to get this as smooth as possible in her skin, and so the edges of the foundation and the concealer are not harsh with each other. They need to blend and look smooth. So I just take my time with this as well, because see, the base of your foundation and your concealer will literally shape your whole products that you apply on top of it. So your contour, your blush, your highlighter, it's not gonna look good if your concealer and foundation is patchy and dirty. So make sure this part is as smooth as you can get it to be. So just take your time with the blending process, and make sure you get into every cracks and creases on the face, around the nose area, especially around the forehead, the hairline region, that part really, if you miss out, it looks really you can see the layer of the foundation if you don't fill that part in properly. Now here what I'm doing, I'm basically carving out her brows using the same concealer, and then I'm going in with my NYX contour stick, and I'm going to use that to contour her face up first. I'm going to go on top of this with my powdered contour as well, so because I want this look to be as contoured as possible, because it's going to be super sharp. So here yeah, I'm just basically marking this contour on her face portion, parts where I'm gonna blend it in. Then I use the same beauty blender, and I use that to basically press the contour in her skin, and I'm doing this in upward dabbing motion. I'm not dragging the blender on her skin, because that is basically going to mess up the layer of foundation and concealer that we applied beneath it, and it's gonna show patchy marks, and you're gonna have really weird marks on the skin, and it's just gonna mess up the whole thing. So make sure you're just dabbing and not dragging the blender. And then here again, I'm taking my time with the blending process, and again you can see how I'm focusing on the hairline region, because that area, if it looks patchy, if it looks awkward, it's gonna literally look so bad on camera. So make sure you're doing the hairline part properly. Yeah, so now I'm gonna use the same thing to blend the contour on her nose region, and I'm just dabbing it. I'm not trying to move it at all. I'm just working it slowly, taking my time with it. This video isn't fast forward, so keep that in mind when you're watching. I don't actually move my hand that quick. I'm taking my time with the product. Then I'm using my contour powder from the contour palette from Wet n Wild, and I'm using that to basically go on top of the cream contour, and then that is basically gonna deepen and darken the contour a lot more on her face. face. And you know how I said like I wanted a really sharp contour look today, so it's gonna help us like get that, and like it looks so beautiful. Oh my god, I love this. Like you can see how beautiful the contour looks with her face. Her features are beautiful, like model features, do like amazing features. I'm in like love with her face. So beautiful she is. So now what I'm doing, I'm going in with the banana powder, and I'm applying that on the parts where I applied the concealer. So like underneath her eye, like I'm going to clean up her contour underneath her contour using it. I'm going to apply that on the bridge of her nose, on her forehead region as well. So this is basically going to set in the concealer and like, you know, blend it, like give it a powdered finish. Then I'm basically applying a little bit of that Maybelline concealer on her eyelids area, so prepping it for the eye makeup. Now I'm using a very cream shade on her eyes. Then I'm going in with this very tiny brush, dipping it into a light brown shade, and I'm gonna mark the part where I'm gonna outline her you know, the crease part. So this part I'm just like, you know, measuring it, making her open her eyes so I can like see where to cut it from and how it's gonna look when she's like looking forward. Yeah, so now I'm just gonna work the shadow in and like make sure the starting of like, you know, the outline of the shadow is nice and crisp. Then I'm gonna go on top of it with a darker brown shade, and I'm gonna deepen the color. This part, try to get it darker because when you're gonna cut the crease, it's gonna have a really nice effect. So the darker the brown, the more sharper the crease will look. So make sure you get the brown over there like nice and pack it on, you know, and like blend it in the side areas as well. So you can see how I'm dragging my shadow on the side of her eye area, like you know, closer to her cheekbone area. So this is basically gonna make her eyes elongate a lot more. And now I'm basically going in with that very cream shade, and I'm gonna basically blend the edges of the brown shadow. Now I'm cutting her crease. So here I'm using a flat brush, and I'm gonna basically dip it in my Maybelline concealer, and I'm gonna cut a crease out as close to her basically following her natural crease. So I did make her open her eyes, you know, in the middle, and I'm basically like marking where the crease ends, and I'm just gonna follow the line and make it as neat as I possibly can. And I do drag it on like the forward part of her inner corner for a lot more elongated look, and I basically dab it with some neutral tone shadow. Then I'm gonna use a really angled tiny brush, and I'm gonna take a light brown shade first, and I'm gonna basically measure where I'm gonna start with my smoked out eyeliner. Then I go in with my black eyeliner on top of it, and I basically, instead of using my gel liner, I use an eyeshadow for this look because I want to work in this color and like, you know, be able to like, you know, switch it up or like change it if I don't like it or stuff. So like if I use a gel liner, it would be really hard to do that if I make a mistake. So I just decided to go in with a black eyeshadow instead, and here I'm just gonna connect it to the inner corner. I'm gonna make her look forward so I can see how it will look when she looks up. I'm going to repeat the same steps on the other eye here, and I'm basically doing it like thicker on the outer side and like thinner as we go towards the inner corner of her eye, and basically make it as sharp as you can, make it look as elongated as you can, and also like spread it towards the top part of the brown shadow so it looks like it's going upwards instead of sideways, because sideways will make it look weird, but if you make it look upwards towards the outer part, it will look a lot more elongated than it would if you do it just like no only sideways. I don't know if I make any sense to you guys right now, but like yeah. Then I'm basically going back in with the banana powder, and I'm gonna brighten up the inner under parts of her eye area again, because like they did darken up, you know, while I was like, you know, applying the black shadow. A little bit fall out, and like, you know, it got kind of darkened up. So then I did that step basically to brighten her under eye area again. So here I'm basically using the first brown shade that we used in the beginning, and then I'm going to use that to smoke out the lower eye region. Then I'm using a really flat brush, and I'm going to use a black eyeshadow. I'm going to apply it right below her waterline. This is going to give it a lot more dense look underneath her eye region. Then I'm going to take the same shadow, and I'm going to apply it in her waterline using the same brush. It's really easy to apply eyeshadow in the waterline. It gives you the same effect as a gel liner, and it honestly lasts like equally as long, so like it works for me, so I use that on my clients. So yeah, I'm just gonna work the black shadow again on the other eye region. I'm repeating the steps here. You can see how I'm like pulling her eye down slightly so the shadow like sets into her waterline. Then I'm gonna smoke out her lower lash area again using the brown. Now I'm applying a really like nice coat of mascara. Then I go in with my e.l.f. Cosmetics blush, and I'm going to use the apricot shade, and I'm going to blush up and add color to her face. I'm going to apply it to her cheeks, her nose, and her chin. And then I'm going in with my Wet n Wild highlighter in Precious Pearls, and I'm going to apply that on the high points of her face. This is going to make her face literally stand out and shine, and like it looks so beautiful. My favorite highlighter of all time. Now I'm going to basically apply my falsies. These are from Huda Beauty. These are one of my favorite falsies like ever. So I'm basically going to apply these like right as close to her natural lash line as possible. And I'm just going to hold it in and make sure it like sticks to her eye. And then now I'm using a damp tissue with my, like, I damped it with like a makeup remover solution. I'm gonna clean up her lips. Now I'm using my Huda Beauty liquid lipstick, and I'm gonna basically outline the outer parts of her lips using the darker brown shade first. And I'm just making sure that I have my edges clean and nicely shape her natural lip shape. Then I'm going to basically darken it up again. I'm going to try to fill in the inner corners from the outer and inner side of her lips as well. I'm using a pointed, almost like a pencil like brush. This will help you get a lot more control over what you're doing, and like it takes practice, but like it's really worth it. I fill in her whole lip using the same brown shade here. I don't go for ombre look. Then here what I'm doing, I'm basically using this hair color thing. It's basically for gray hair. I had it in my makeup kit for some reason. I don't know why I had it, but like then I basically use that to remove all the concealer that we had on her hair. Now I'm going in with my Wet n Wild clear gloss. I'm gonna use that to basically bring shine to her lips, because I don't want a matte lip for this look, because the eyes are already so matte. Then I'm gonna go in with my clear brow gel from Dirty Works as well. I'm gonna basically brush it through her brows, and then this is the final look. I'm in love with how it looks, and this is her reaction.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh shit, I look like a doll.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This is the final look. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. I hope you learned how to do something new. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share if you will. I'm in literally love with this look. It's my favorite. I've said that like a million times in this video already, but she looks so beautiful. I hope you guys liked it. I'll see you next time. Bye.